Scott Lear here at BChord. We are hanging at Ram's Head on stage in Annapolis, and we are talking to Mr. Luke Pell. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm great.
You were great.
I had a great St. Patty's Day last night,
Yeah?
and now it's Sunday afternoon, and I'm still kind of stuck back in St. Patty's Day right now.
I'm with you. Do not feel
But
bad.
I'm bouncing back.
But this is really fun because this is your first time in Annapolis,
Yeah.
where the Naval Academy is,
Yeah.
and I know this is a sore spot to bring up, but you went to West Point.
Yeah.
So did you ever make it here for the football games?
Yeah, so, I played football at West Point. So we always played Navy in, like, Philadelphia, Baltimore or some years, but in a neutral site. So anyway, I did come here a couple times, I watched a basketball game here a couple times when Army played Navy, but literally that was like 10 years ago the last time I was here. So
That's crazy.
it's a little weird coming back. I never thought the next time I'd be back is with my band playing at Ram's Head Live. Who knew?
Yeah,
Who knew?
it's so cool. And you guys, you just wrapped up. You killed it. The show was amazing.
So fun.
And having people off of a St. Patrick's Day, that's always a thing.
Yeah.
But place was packed. Everybody had a great time.
Yeah. No, I was like, man, I when we booked this, I was like, man, you guys realize this is like lunch on the day after St. Patty's Day, right? Like, I feel like there's going to be a lot of people still in bed when this show's going on. But no, man, everybody was great out there. The crowd was a lot of fun. And yeah, who knew? Ram's Head Live, 1 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon can be so much fun.
So cool.
Yeah, that's great.
That's so cool. So first I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your service in the
Absolutely,
military.
yeah.
I don't think there's enough of that goes on nowadays, but
Yeah.
we really, really appreciate that. So number one, thank you. That's all.
Absolutely.
But what I wanted to go into in the last couple of days, I was kind of, setting up, talking to you
Sure.
a little bit, getting this
Sure.
all arranged. Your fan clubs are insane. I mean, as soon as
are.
I would put something up there, it was like, boom, it was all over the
Yeah.
place. So just wanted to give you a little opportunity to talk about them and kind of say a few words.
man, they have been such a godsend to me, and they're so supportive, and there's several people that run the fan clubs for us that are all over the country, from Idaho to New York to Texas and Kentucky and all around. So they're such a great help, just getting the word out, helping spread awareness for the charities that I work with Creative Vets, and then just help talk about the story of what we're doing with the band and everything too. And it's always just great having people in your corner, So yeah,
Hey, you got good people in your corner.
yeah, absolutely.
So Drink You In, love the single. That's kind of the one you're pushing right now.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. I know you got some buddies that you usually write with when it comes to
Yeah.
those songs, but give us a little bit of that.
Yeah, so Drink You In, it's like a little bit of a variety push for us on the EP that we put out in January. Of the 5 songs, this one's a little bit more outside the box, a little bit more R&B feel to it, kind of this funky, lighthearted, little bit vibe. And no, I love it. I love being able to be flexible in the sound that we have, and it's kind of an ode to the fact that our whole generation. And there's not lines with our genres, it's like, look, great creativity, it should be looked at as it is, and not be like, try to put it in a label on it and say, well, that's not true country, or that's bro country, or that's pop more than it is country. It's just like, appreciate and applaud creativity. So yeah, so that's when I write and put something out like that, that's just me just trying to be open to that fact, because there's so many people from Sam Hunt started that thing like in 2014, just really pushing the envelope and not being necessarily quote unquote pop, but being country, but doing a lot of pop type things. And so yeah, I just love that. So
And you have such a unique style of your own, but don't mistake the fact that Texas comes out in there. I mean,
for sure.
even tonight,
Yeah.
it's there, and country
Absolutely.
music has expanded to a lot of that. So
Yeah.
I totally get where you're coming from, and it's so true.
Yeah.
But one of my favorites off that is "Make 'Em Proud."
Yeah.
You played it tonight, and
Yeah.
I know there's a lot you pour out of your heart in that
Right.
song. So
Right.
tell us a little bit about that one.
yeah, Make 'Em Proud is one of those songs. It was written all the way back in 2015. And it was just a song that I don't write very often about, or even cut songs very often that are directly dealing with the military and my time in the military. But I think that that's something that needs to be said, and that's always a message that I want to carry with me, and something that about my story and my image and who I am. I'm very forthcoming and upfront with that, because that was a big time in my life. Sure. And there's so many great friends I still have there in the military, and any chance I get to support them and bring awareness to what they continue to do, the sacrifices that they continue to make for our country and for us personally, is just something that I want to do. And so make them proud is kind of my version of that, and represents that for me. So
Sure.
yeah.
Sure. So I was in Nashville a week ago.
Yeah.
Okay. As I'm down there, I'm going around in the Gulch. I love shopping in that area. Right.
Yeah.
I am. And I walk into the store, Ruckle and Rye. And I've got to admit, you have some competition on your hands with the ladies down there, because there's this dog named Waylon in there, right? And I come to find out, oh, it's Luke Pell's dog, right?
So funny,
well,
man.
We were with 4 girls who were with us, and they could not stop. So I just figured I'd give you a few minutes to talk about old Waylon.
It's hilarious. I've been moving around so much the last several years, and I was like always feeling like apprehensive about getting a dog. I was like, I don't have time for a dog. I finally couldn't take it anymore, and I got one recently, like just literally like 6 weeks ago, and this puppy. My friend Brittany has a store there in the Gulch, like you were saying, and so she babysits them on the weekends when we're on the road. So like I got the babysitter situation figured out before I got the puppy. I didn't want to do a cart before the horse situation. So anyway, so yeah, she takes care of him on the weekends and has him at the store. And then so it's funny, we were going to play these shows and people were like out of the crowd. It happened today, and then it happened last night. People were like, "Where's Waylon?" They want to see the dog. So it's so funny. We'll have to figure out once he gets potty trained and get him some like little puppy earmuffs or something. I can bring him out.
Oh yeah, definitely.
To the shows. Yeah.
So he's what kind of dog?
He's a French bulldog.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. Has his own Instagram page, so so we'll make sure we tie all that together.
I'm out there just like a dad with a camcorder, man. I'm like, do something cool, puppy. So funny.
So you started music at a really early age. You started piano, right? Then kind of worked into the guitar. You went to Afghanistan. You took the guitar with you. It was one of those really big things. So when was it for you that you knew music is a career, I really want to kind of stick with, I want to make this work?
Music has always been like the underlying thing that, I really connected to kind of, on a basic level, a fundamental level. And so, like you said, when I was 10 years old, the pastor of my church was also the piano player at the church, and I started taking lessons from him. That's like when my eyes were open to music in general, because my family really wasn't musical. And so that was the first time. And so really fell in love with it there. And then, sports and things, you kind of get distracted when you're in high school and kind of get away from it. But when I got to college, I was at West Point, and you couldn't have many things with you in your dorm room. And I was in New York, a Texas kid all the way from the South. So it was a long way from home, a long way from my roots and my culture. And so my guitar was like the one thing that I could have with me that kind of kept me grounded all the time. And so that just became a very important part of my life, and was all the way through my time in the military. And even after I graduated from West Point, I was in the military. I'd play a few weekend gigs and songwriter nights and things like that. And then I took a corporate job right out of the military because it was kind of seemingly the right thing to do at the time. I was like, put a resume together, do the corporate job, put a suit and tie on. And it was a great job, and I just was never satisfied. Like every weekend, every night when I'd go home, I was thinking about playing music. I was thinking about writing songs. I wanted to be back in Nashville. And so when I finally, was, true to myself and just said, what were you happy? It was back in Nashville being a songwriter. And so finally worked up the courage and just went for it, moved back to Nashville, and haven't looked back since. I love it.
That's great. Yeah. It's a good thing you did.
Yeah, everything's working out.
Ball Caps, Blue Jeans, my favorite song off that EP.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about that one.
Yeah, Ball Caps and Blue Jeans is just, at the end of the day, like songs for me that either I write or I cut are, my favorite ones are the ones that make you feel like you're nostalgic and you're somewhere else, and bring back memories and are fun, these summertime kind of songs. And so that's exactly what Ball Caps and Blue Jeans is. It's just like, it's that summertime anthem that just reminds you of, and we're actually working on the music video for it this week. And it just reminds you of the best times in life that were so simple when, for me, I was like 16, 17 years old, and you have like your first girlfriend and your first kiss, and you get your driver's license and you feel free for the first time in your life, and so that's kind of an anthem just about that time in life. Yeah.
Windows down, summertime.
Yeah, exactly.
That whole deal. I get it. Totally
Garth
get
Brooks is in there.
Ooh,
I throw a little Garth Brooks in there.
That's great. That is great. So, favorite song for you on the radio right now?
Yeah, right now, my favorite song on the radio. There's a lot. I'm all over the place with what I listen to, but I think Really, it's Maren Morris is in the middle right now.
Nice.
I
Okay.
love the vibe of that song. It's great. The lyric is great too.
I know.
And then they mixed it with Zed, and he did it. He
Yeah.
did his thing on there too, and so yeah, that song just feels great all the way through.
That is great.
Yeah.
For Luke Pell, one thing that most people wouldn't realize or that you have to take when you go on the road, you've got to take this one thing with you. What would that be?
The one thing on the road, protein bars.
Oh.
I don't know.
Got to keep going somehow.
Yeah. Earplugs is another one.
Yeah.
Where I can't hear my guys. And when it just shenanigans go down in the bus or in the green room, you're just like, headphones. I don't want to hear you guys right now. Can't get away from you, but I don't want to hear you.
That's great. So you're going to be traveling on tour till about June-ish, somewhere in that area.
Yeah.
So what we really want to let everybody know, go online, check your webpage. I know it's posted everywhere.
Yeah.
Make sure you see him while he's out there. The show tonight was incredible. We really had a great time.
Thank you.
I'm going to hit you with one last question, and then we'll wrap this up.
Sure.
I always ask every single artist I ever talk to our BChord signature question. So you're stranded on an island.
Yeah.
You can take one guitar with you. One instrument with you.
Okay.
What's it gonna be? Okay, and any sentimental value, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah. It's funny. There's a lot of. I go into a very pragmatic, logistical question here. I'm like, wonder how long my guitar could last if I was stranded on an island. Would the wood get dried out and split? And then what if it breaks and I don't have it anymore? So what's the longevity instrument that I should have? Is it a harmonica? Because I could keep it safe and I could always use it. But then you can't sing with the harmonica and play at the same time. So you go into that whole thing. I think I would just go with the guitar and see how long I can make it last. Maybe a really good case for it.
No, that works good. I had one guy who makes guitars. He said, "Just give me trees, we'll be fine."
There you go.
Get
trees. Just whittle one out.
Yeah, right.
Gibson J45, and I'm good.
There you go. That's perfect. Taylor Phillips said it was just his mind. All
wow.
It was just to sit there and
that's
great
awesome.
song. So he really hit me.
Taylor Phillips would say that.
That guy, right? I hear you. Anyway, I'll give you a minute here. Tell everybody where they can follow you, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so the website has all the tour dates and everything, and that's lukepell.com. And then my socials, because there's other Luke Pells in the world to beat me to it. There's Luke _ Pell, so double underscores on Instagram, and Twitter is Luke Pell, and then Facebook, of course. So yeah,
awesome.
we out there.
Yeah, I know you're out there. Try to catch up to that plateau, but
yeah, exactly.
Anyway, give Luke a follow. Luke, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Follow us at BChord615 or on the web www.bchord.net. Thank you all so much.